Oi, oi!
Fantastic.
Talking about a scene, it's what we're doing. Come and check it out, it's what we're all about. 561 Music!
561 Music Festival
Brought to you by Steiner Green and Finer.
at the Meyer Amphitheater.
May 3rd.
It's a free show.
20 bands,
2 stages,
art vendors,
food vendors.
drinks vendors.
There you go. Go to 561musicfestival.com for details.
20 bands will play, West Palm Beach all day. Support your music scene, May the 3rd is free. 561 Music Festival.
Supported by Steiner Green and Finer. Welcome to 561 Music. My name's Ben.
And I'm Hector.
Nice to see you, Hector.
Very good to see you, man.
You've been busy, huh?
Very busy. Yep.
Yeah, I feel like I say that almost like half the time on this podcast. I'm like,
Probably more than that. I made a joke to somebody yesterday. They were asking me about something, and I said, "Yeah, I've been getting about 3 hours of sleep a night."
right, yeah,
And
yeah.
in fact, I think I mentioned it to you earlier
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, I've been getting about 3 hours of sleep a night, which makes me feel like there's something I'm forgetting because I actually have time to do 3 hours of sleep a night.
I know.
Seems excessive, doesn't it? 3 whole hours.
What kind of like like layabout has 3 hours to spare?
It's crazy, man. Seems a little excessive to me. But, whatever.
And I said to you at the time, Margaret Thatcher had 3 hours of sleep a night, and that's not someone you want to be like.
No.
But yeah, so here we are. It's 561 Music. We're doing a festival in May. I think it's important to mention that. It's a free show. It's at the Meyer Amphitheater. It's on May 3rd. It's 20 bands, 2 stages, art vendors and food and drink vendors. And the bands are Mason Pace, Tiger Sunset, Closer to the Ocean, Ras, Not Spices, Fuakata, Medicine Room, Jacob Tacker's and the Connection, Beeline, Reverse Oreo, Modern Odyssey and Stony Falls, Strider, Shakers, Ryan Hopkins, Slow Funk Pump, Off Orbit, Billy Doom is Dead, Little Things and Blab Scam. That is a mouthful.
That is a mouthful. But that's a hell of a list too, man.
Yeah.
I made myself a little playlist on my Apple Music the other day of a few tunes from each of the bands. That's a hell of a lineup, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it slaps, dude. Like,
I know.
Listening to all the songs and stuff. Yeah,
I'm super proud of what you've done, what we've done with this. Is going to be great.
I give props to Ricky and Justin, man. They
Justin
really,
did a lot of work on that.
they narrowed down that list at the end. So if you didn't get picked, it's their fault. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that we appreciate all the hard work that they've been putting in.
100%.
helping with the festival and stuff. So yeah, man.
Yeah, no, Justin went above and beyond with the picking of the bands. He really thorough. I thought it was great.
Oh, so it's so if you didn't get picked, it's Justin's fault, not Justin and Ricky. Sorry, my bad. I keep getting it wrong. It's fine. It's fine.
So yeah, we have a very special guest, my good friend and brother for many years, Mr. Rucker. How's it going?
It's good, man.
Crowd goes wild.
Thank you.
And
Back here.
yeah, we're here primarily for your new project, which is called Mother Rucker.
Yeah.
Now, I remember when you were picking the name for this, and there was a lot of back and forthing with the certain person who's close to you in life who just really wasn't sure about the name. Well, I have to say, I think it's a great name. I think it's a really funny name.
Really good name.
I think so too.
Yeah.
It's I wanted to get away with saying motherfucker on the radio.
Yeah.
Without having to
This is a
happen.
kid-friendly podcast. No, I'm kidding.
Well, this is the first time you ever heard the word. Anyway. But yeah, names are silly, and I felt like the Rocky Rucker experience was too much. You know, I didn't have a ring to it.
Sure.
But I remember my first idea was just kind of like figuring out, you know, like how can I like make a radio host say that?
Yeah.
Where there's be like, oh man, like
someone's gonna trip up.
the new single,
Yeah.
motherfucker, nah. Or like
Yeah.
if you see a bill on something and they read it really fast, like, oh man, Mother Rucker.
There's a lot of good things about the name. It kind of sounds like it has that. You could imagine it being like a jazz odyssey, like Mother Rucker, like Earth Mother or
Leaves you
Atom
thinking
Heart
about
Mother.
it.
Yeah, it's a cool name. I really like it.
Thanks.
And the music is just dynamite. It's like real rip roaring punk rock, and it's raw, which I think is very much in its favor, because it's so easy these days to sanitize punk, you know? So easy to like kind of overproduce it. Not necessarily overproduce it, because it's not to say that doing something raw like that doesn't take a lot of production. It can and does. It's just that the easy ways to make things sound better, they can really tame the music.
Well,
you know?
polish them up, and there's a certain punk today. A lot of radio punk, if you will, pop punk is like very, very polished and very formulaic almost.
Yeah,
you know?
I was thinking of what the word was the other day. It's safe. You know, a lot of punk has become safe sounding, which is
anti-punk.
Yes, it's not very punk at all.
I think that's like the new definition of punk is going against something, and punk can go against punk now.
Yeah.
So it's like
Fair.
they're bringing punk by not making it sound clean and polished and whatnot.
I think
And,
I think what you've done with it, in conclusion, I think what you've done with it and in making it raw like that is sick. It's like, it's just punk as fuck, and I love the music.
Yeah.
Sounds like Bad Brains, one of my favorite bands, and yeah,
you
it's
for
killer. So, how did it all come about?
My first instrument was guitar. I feel like most people know me as a bassist, but I was the guitarist who ended up like, we needed a bassist, and so that's how I jumped on bass. But when I first played guitar, like, I started when I was like 5 or something. It was really classical. I learned a lot of Beatles stuff and whatnot. And I stopped for a while. When I picked it back up, I was going through a Ramones phase. My dad would tell me stories about him going to CBGBs and whatnot.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of like,
Your dad's done a lot.
oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
So it's like he left an influence of like, he listened to so many like different musics, but he would like tell me stories about like the 70s, 80s punk that was happening. I always thought it was cool because my dad was also like a Zappa fan, and I loved listening to that, but I couldn't play that. I can't
Yeah.
play like Steve Vai was in his band, and he's like shredding and whatnot. But then I heard like the Ramones, and they're like, sloppy with the eighth notes,
Yeah.
but they're actually tight with it, but
Right.
in the sense of like,
I know what you mean. It's not like uber complicated.
it's not to a click, it's not to something, but it was just like this expression, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So I felt comfortable playing guitar rhythmically. I was a big AC/DC fan too. Like
Yeah.
I loved Malcolm Young, who is like the backbone of the guy. Like Angus
Yeah.
was cool, but the guy there was this dude in the back like holding the rhythm down,
Yeah.
and that spoke to me for a while. And a lot of the music that I'm writing right now is to channel more of my first love of music, which was like guitar-based stuff,
Yeah.
but more rhythmically and
Sure.
punk.
Yeah.
Punk.
And you've done, but you know, at this point, you've been in a bunch of punk bands. You know, it's not like you're not experienced in all of that, you know, at all. Like, you know, you've played in some great bands, and even in the last few years. So I think that it seems only natural that you would do a project and A, it be punk, and B, you be leading it, because it's time. I feel like it's time, you know.
I hear that, and I love supporting other people. I've always been someone like, I love being the foundation of bringing someone's art out as
Yeah.
a basis. As you know, like, we're holding it all together. We're
Yeah.
making the melody make sense.
Yeah.
We're making the rhythm groove.
Sure.
And I love that spot, and I love so many genres that bass provides to everything.
Yeah.
And I just always found in situations where it's like I just loved whatever amount of bands I've been in doing that. And I think it was till like a year or so ago, I was kind of like, you know, what do I got to say?
Sure.
And a lot of the stuff that I'm releasing coming out of this episode is stuff from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, just me revisiting it and doing that, finishing it, helped me, like, write even more
Yeah.
and see how I sound now.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, like, Totally new. I wanted, if there's a moment you find stagnant in your music ability, and I find bass being one of those things where it's like,
I gotcha.
It takes me a minute to challenge and find this like, like I don't need to practice this or do whatever.
Yeah.
But never fronted a band, never was lead vocalist.
Yeah.
I've played guitar in bands before, but it's been a minute. And to be fully my compositions and whatnot.
Well,
it's a lot of new things.
Yeah,
a lot of new things. I'm like,
you've got a lot to say. You've got a big personality, and you feel emotions strongly, and you're also good at organizing things when it comes to music. So I just feel like you've been doing yourself a disservice if you didn't have a crack at it. You know what I mean?
I hear you, man. And this has been a great form of exercising vulnerability.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly with like, I had a good friend, Ryan Weinenfeld, play drums on this. I can't play drums for shit, but I did everything else. Bass, no problem. Guitar, no problem. Having this in front of me and talk about lyrics.
Yeah.
I've always been someone who like just listen to music first, then like lyrics, and now being more lyric focused, I'm like, whoa, I'm like talking about deep shit about something that relates to me over and over and over and over again. Like I can't give any vocalist shit anymore. When it comes to memorizing vocals, like people are like, oh man, guys with an iPad, dude, I don't fucking blame them now. They memorize hours of lyrics and stuff, and it's like hard. It's a practice.
It's rough, man. You could throw, like, and it's happened. Like I've stepped into situations where I've filled in for a cover band, something or whatever, and they've thrown 40 songs at me, and I've learned them all in a week. Like half-assed, but I've learned them all in a week. But then, you asked me to remember, like, and it's happened in Killbillies, like, hey, you have to sing this one line in the song, and I fucking miss my cue like 30% of the time. Like I can't remember like one fucking line of lyrics.
Singing is a lot. It's a lot because it's you. There's nothing in between you and the sound. It's just the sound your body makes. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And it's very personal.
The good sound your body makes.
Yeah.
And I am a master overthinker like any creative person is. So I've never been a fan of my own voice. I find it very cartoonish. I'm sure everyone else feels it in that way.
Oh, absolutely.
But what I love about punk music, and when I was like, do I really want to like do my own thing? I was listening to like the Bad Brains, which was funny. We walked to the Kava store next door.
Yeah.
What was blasted? Like their first record.
Dude, I've had a day like this. I've just got to quickly interject with this.
Go ahead.
So when last weekend with Marshall, we did a We Will Rock You into what's it called? Play That Funky Music, White Boy.
What?
And
I thought it was We Are the Champions after We Will Rock You.
right. And then I came in here today and I started talking to someone about the fact that I played that gig, and then the room next door started playing We Will Rock You, and then the song he wanted to do was Play That Funky Music, White Boy. It was the weirdest thing. It was like doom, 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 like just mega, like
it doesn't
synchronicity.
Surprise you, right? Like we've been playing music for a minute. When we see things come full circle in certain manners, catching us off guard, it's like it's a beautiful thing. Like doing stuff like this, talking to a mic, talking to a camera with my boys. I was anxious, and I'm a little shaky right now. But when I walked over there, and I was like, "Oh, the Bad Brains, man, they were so inspirational." And then I just thought about like, oh, they helped me like do my music. Oh, I'm about to talk about it here.
Yeah.
Like what a beautiful universal sign coming in. And that's why like you relate. The stars align, but I can't do anything but music. If it doesn't have strings, I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
But to tie back in what I was saying, like listening to like the Bad Brains, and they were a band that like I wasn't a fan of my voice, but I was watching live performances when HR was young, listening heavily to the first record. All the other records were great, but there was something about their self-titled that was like blows my mind.
Yeah.
And how is like there's no key to his vocal. His voice is cracking, and I'm just
raw.
like, it gave
Yeah.
me this permission where I'm like,
Sure.
wow, I have some like shit I'm pissed off about, or I'm like upset about, or like feeling deeply about. Let me just go at it.
It's the energy coming out of that record is insane. And also, you know, it gives you, I know what you mean about feeling like it gave you permission, but it's not because it's bad.
No.
But because it's like, it doesn't have to be good in this one certain way that, you know, like I guess you are worried about or something. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like you can be however, it gives you permission to be whatever you want to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think the more I'm like accepting myself and my like neurodivergent mindset, I'm noticing like how much of a perfectionist like approach I give to so many things.
Sure, yeah.
And as I'm being kinder towards myself, I'm like, there's no like record like this song I'm writing about is like deep and personal, and it's like aggressive music. Why do I need to like worry about nothing?
Yeah.
And then it became so easy to like let it out.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, just listening to like the Bad Brains and whatnot, it was this phenomenal, like, oh man, like there's no, like, do you think he fucking cared?
Right.
He was like,
Yeah.
I've read something where basically the band was recording live in a basement, and HR wanted to do it live. He didn't want to do overdubs. And he was basically outside of a building where there's like a park where kids are playing whatnot, and just going, like going ape shit. And there's no music. And it's just
so
like
awesome.
to be channeling that and not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I remember getting to my bass playing to that level and being able to express myself live, like with No Name Ska Band.
Yeah.
That was the first band where I was like, I lost like 130 pounds. I felt really good. I felt a purpose, original music with like killer guys from the scene. I remember just jumping around like a fucking fool.
Yeah, man.
And I used to be the guy, the bass player, big guy, showing in the back.
Right.
But
That's how I met you, man. You were in Junk.
oh yeah, oh my god,
Junk.
that was the first original project I really jumped in, and that was no lyrics
How do you spell
whatsoever.
Junk?
J umlaut, U with the umlaut, and K.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
that
there was a Junk the band, and I remember this was in the MySpace days where people were like, don't use that name.
That's when I met him. First
Yeah,
time I met him, it was
man.
at
Swampgrass.
Swampgrass, yeah. And the Nirvana tribute band was playing, and Junk was playing that night.
Cool.
That's when I first met Rocky.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we just played Bomb the Algorithm, just played a show with Butch at Swamp the other day. Booch at Booch. Yeah, right. We should put the little umlaut. And they have on the back wall. They have on the stage. They have like all the little posters and stuff still there. And I was sitting there and I was watching Butch play, and I'm looking at the posters and I'm like, I'm finding like bands, that I've played with in the past or bands that
Virgil's on there.
And I look over to the left side of like stage left, whatever it is, left side of stage. There was a Junk poster there with you. I want to say you were playing. I want to say with the Bastard Sons, possibly. I don't know. I don't remember. But it was
Who
like
else was in Junk?
I had a good friend, Mark Maia. Love him to death. I actually just reconnected with him. I went to visit him in St. Pete. He's a phenomenal piano, keyboard player. But he picked up guitar and shred, had different effects. We had different drummers. There was Jason Standard, who used to run a weekly jam that when I graduated high school, I just started going to bars and saying, hey, someone let me play.
He's a good guy.
Oh, phenomenal cat. And man, he whipped me to shape. I remember going on tour with him, and the first night I spent all of my money on on records. We found a record shop. I just found, oh dude, Masters of Reality. Oh dude, this record. And I'm like, dude, Jason, check this out. And he's like, oh cool, that's awesome. How are you eating dinner tonight?
Yeah.
I ain't your daddy. I ain't paying for your food.
Yeah, exactly.
And that guy shaped me so much with some professionalism
Yeah.
that I follow now, because I was just, God bless him, be done with my young ass.
Yeah.
But he was one of the guys. Later on, we had Alex Mendel play drums,
Right.
and he brought it to another level. And actually, he was one of the dudes who was around when I wrote the music I'm releasing with Black Drapes and the song Let's Talk. We worked at a music school together, and we were closing up, and we just did this improvised punk show. I remember holding a guitar, had a mic in front of me, and I'm like, I've never done this before. And he's like, well, I'm just going to play a punk beat and do whatever the hell you want. And in front of me, coincidentally, talk about universal things, there's Black Drapes.
Oh, there you go.
I'm like, I'm just going to write a song about Black Drapes.
Black Drapes is such an awesome, super metal name for a song. Right. I love it.
Thank you. It took me a minute. I mean, when I first did it...
Hey, wait.
Ooh.
Let's listen to it, and then let's talk about it afterwards.
Sure.
Does it sound good?
That sounds fantastic.
Okay. We're going to listen to Black Drapes, and then when we come back, Rocky's going to tell you all about it.
Yay.
Oasis Root Kava Bar is in Seagrape Square on Indiantown Rd, and it is a kava bar. If you don't know anything about kava, it's a Polynesian root that you grind up and you mix with water, and it has been in Polynesia for potentially thousands of years. It's an old thing that they used for kind of ceremonial and also sort of leisure purposes. It's meant to be something where, you know, that brings people together. You all take a shell of kava and chink them together and say bula and have it together like that. It's meant to be something to bring people together. It has a kind of an effect, which is, I guess, a kind of a slightly warming effect. It just kind of makes you feel nice. It's not particularly intoxicating. It's not like drinking alcohol. So the atmosphere in a kava bar is sort of like a cross between a regular bar and a coffee house. It's pretty chill in there. You get all sorts of different types of kava bars. Some of them are more like a club, you know, there's sort of like blacklight and EDM playing, and some of them are more like a cafe. This is one of the cafe type of ones. It's super chill in there. If you're looking for somewhere to, I don't know, maybe go and do some work on your laptop or go and have a chat with friends, it's perfect for that kind of thing. There's a foosball table in there if that's your jam, or baby foot as they call it in France. Yeah, Jim, the owner, is a really cool guy, and he has very kindly sponsored our podcast, so thank you very much for that, Jim. They also do a poker night in there, all sorts of things going on at Oasis Root. 561 Music is sponsored by Live Music Community. It's where we film the podcast that you're listening to right now, and it's also where I work. Gavin, Hector's son, was a student here for a long time, and in many ways he's the musician he is today because of the teachers at Live Music Community. We taught him not only about his instrument, but also about being in a band, and his band Unemployed Youth accomplished a lot of goals, mostly band etiquette, how to work together, and all of the nitty-gritty that goes into being in a band on a day-to-day basis. The student signs up for lessons, learns their instrument, joins a real band, and decides the direction it goes in. And we can take people from very young age, 6 or 7 years old, all the way up to 80. There's no age limit here. We run an adult program for people who want to be in a band as adults, but really the main focus is on the kids and getting them playing together and in bands. We are also a studio, a live stream venue. We can record audio or video. The Killbillies live album, Warts and All, was recorded here. It was recorded during a live stream that we did during COVID. Justin had a great idea to record live streams during COVID. A ton of bands came in, and it was a real success. Outside of that, we can record albums, we can help you with your EPK, and we have full audio-visual capabilities here. LMC is in Palm Beach Gardens on the northwest corner of Military Trail and North Lake Boulevard. And if you go to livemusiccommunity.com, you have all the information you'll need right there. So we've just been listening to an ad for Live Music Community, and what I want to know from you, Rocky, because you've been at this for a very long time, is do you have any advice for upcoming musicians?
The mighty words of Shia LaBeouf, it's Shia LaBeouf. Just do it.
Yeah?
Just go ahead. There's something awesome with facing the fear of doing something you're not used to.
Absolutely.
And there's going to be people who see how great you are, and they're like, wow, he's a natural. And they're going to try to bring you down, and they're going to be like, trying to make you stop because of jealousy. So supporting you, bringing you up, they bring you down. That's when you know you're onto something, man.
For sure.
That's when you know you're onto something.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck them if they're trying to stop you. Keep it going. Even if they get you for a moment.
Yeah.
It's normal. It's fine. Get back up and try it out.
Haters are a sign of success, that's for sure.
For damn sure.
Yeah.
Can't win them all. Who needs them?
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't just do it a Nike slogan?
I think so too. But remember that video where Shia LaBeouf did like the do it? You know what I'm talking about? He's in front of a green screen. Dude, I cried the first time I saw that because it was this meme thing. But then it was like, for me, I was like, this guy's spitting some fire right now. He's like telling some truth. And I'm like, why is people making memes about this? Because they're saying, oh, this guy's going crazy. And it's like,
well,
yeah, but wow.
We love you, Shy. I don't care what everybody says.
Holes was a great movie.
Yeah, so, great advice. Just get on with it. Let's go.
Yes.
100%. Couldn't agree more. And challenging yourself in life is extremely helpful.
Yeah.
And healthy. It's really honestly something that I don't do enough, and I should. Just pushing yourself to do things that you're uncomfortable with. That's how you grow as a person.
Yeah.
That's me every week on this podcast. Very uncomfortable.
And you guys have been killing. I mean, you've met from 4 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming up on 4 years.
And now you're doing festival at Meyer Amphitheater.
It's insane.
Come on, high five for all y'all.
Yeah, man. No,
this would be an example.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So the question I have for you is, will you speak to us some more about the song Black Drapes?
Yeah. I was telling a little story where it was like, this song was completely improvised, and I gotta thank Alex Mendel for anyone who's had an opportunity to work with him.
Yeah.
He brings something out of you.
Yeah.
And he was able to do that. I was not just, I could have picked up a bass and jammed with him, which I have plenty of times.
Yeah.
But I picked up a guitar and vocals, and we made a punk set out of nowhere.
Alex could make music just like in a dark room with no instruments.
Yeah, for real.
Like he's so musical.
Yeah, man. So this was, I couldn't have at least, and that was 10 years ago. And it was enough that it was still enough where like it kept me like, man, like that's still in my head.
Yeah, man.
And again, I was kind of like playing in front of Black Drapes. So I was just improvising. Like, I don't know what to sing about. And the more, this is my definition of the song. I've shared this with people, and I've heard like, oh, this song's about this and that. And I'm like, it's cool hearing that. So I guess I never got really to talk about my thing. The original lyrics was like, I don't want to see the sun today. And it was that over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it made me realize later on, and things I go through now, like this song is just basically me going through depression.
Sure.
And I've gone through it for years. And like any creative does, or like people who just go through shit. I was just talking about that. And then when I was revisiting it and I'm looking at my lyrics and I'm like, I do want to see the sun. Like, what the fuck? I don't want to, like, it didn't make sense. I remember doing the vocal take as originally was, and I'm like, this doesn't resonate with me. Right, I don't want to give people a negative message. It's like happy major chords playing the punk manner, had like this vibrant sound.
Yep.
So I was able to kind of like, how do I really feel? And, at the time I was going through some heavy shit in my life. And it was more like, I got the questions like, up on the spot, I'm trying to remember my own lyrics. I'm still new to this lyric game, frontman stuff. But it's that thing, I don't want to see the sun today. It was like, why can't I see the sun today? I should have seen the sun today.
Right,
and it was questioning, like, building awareness to it. Because there's some people who don't know what they're fighting through. And they're in this stagnant, like, well, life sucks and whatnot.
They don't even know that they're fighting through it.
Yeah, I'm at least gotten to a point where it's like, it's sometimes a never-ending battle, but once you accept what you're going through, that's a step forward.
For sure.
So writing this tune was just kind of like accepting and acknowledging.
Yeah. I know that for me, identifying the problems I was having, like mentally, was a big step towards starting to be able to do something about it and move forward. It was like, and that, the first sort of like, so I'd been to therapy and stuff in England, but it was they didn't really care. They were just trying to get me out the door. They weren't really. It was a therapy in name only, honestly. And but when I came here, I got a good therapist and talking to them, and they really managed to help me understand what was going on with me, so I could start doing something about it. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, man. And I've gone through some therapists where they're just being like, "Here, take this. You're good. See you next week." And it's like, what? Tell me to go outside. Let me you seem really passionate. Pick up the guitar. So I've gone through some like shit. There's a whole crazy side of like that mental health where people just make money off of it. I don't want to go down that.
Oh, for sure.
That's ridiculous, dude.
But I did eventually receive good ones, and I put in my work, and I'm not 100%, and that's okay. It's not 100%, but it's awesome that through music and trying new things and challenging myself, like, that's what Black Drapes is for me. And for me, I want to put this out where hopefully someone relates to this.
Yeah.
Where it's like not a full like cry or help or whatnot, but it's like damn, I go through this shit. Like I wanted to see the sun, but wait, is it fucking dark?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we all go through it in different levels and whatnot.
It's not an unusual approach to lyric writing or an unusual sort of like way to feel like your song. That's what music is, a communication. That's what all my songs are about, that kind of thing.
It's therapy, though, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's therapeutic.
And I love it.
Like I'm still at the stage. You guys are talking about like identifying the problem. I'm still at the stage where I get anxiety, and I don't know why I get anxiety. Like I get like these crazy bouts of anxiety. So I'm seeing a therapist, and I'm trying to deal with all that stuff. But there's been plenty of times, and Ben will tell you, there's been plenty of times that I'm having a rough day. I'm having a lot of anxiety. I'm just not feeling the day, and I drag myself out of whatever, and I get to the gig, and we have a Killbillies gig or whatever, and we're like a song and a half in, and I'm like, all smiles, man. Like it's therapeutic, man. It really is.
For sure.
It really is.
Because it's teamwork for one, and you're also in a situation which is kind of rare, where you just get to express yourself to people you don't know and communicate with people you don't know in a very raw and visceral way. You know?
Yeah, man. Like, for me, like punk music is like, I don't have to worry about staying in key or something, tempo, whatnot. It's like, I get just this whatever I'm feeling built in, let it explode. And I'm excited to try that out. And I personally love that music is therapeutical, but like to hear both of you guys say, I go through a therapist, I work through this shit. I think that's like, I know a bunch of guys who like, it's not man enough to go to therapy. And if I can give another advice thing to musicians or just people in general, particularly dudes, it's totally manly to like talk about your feelings and be vulnerable with it and not have to be macho all the time and have it all together. Like that's like impossible.
Yeah, it's more manly.
So it's like I love it. It's accepting it and working with it, and like I love hearing. I mean, you guys are successful and able to work with what's going on in your lives. Like, I'm having anxiety, this and that, but you're making a festival. You're gigging out. You are traveling the world.
I mean, if we're being honest, it's probably the festival that's giving me the anxiety.
I had someone tell me this, and I'm sure there's some scientific backing behind it, but I was told anxiousness and nervousness is excitement you haven't acknowledged yet.
Yeah.
And
I actually like that.
Dude, I remember, I deal with stage fright every once in a while where I'm just like, why am I so hyped? I remember some stage guy, I'm trying to remember who, but they were just like, dude, you're just excited.
Yeah.
Do you realize you're excited? And I'm like, well, yeah. He's like, well, how do you feel now? And I'm like, I'm fucking excited.
Yeah. you can that's the thing, isn't it? Like you can use the butterflies. I think if you go on stage and you don't feel a little bit of butterflies, that's worse.
Oh, for sure. Let something feel it, man.
It's like if you're just like, all right, well, another time to just trot through this bullshit. You don't want to be in that situation. So you want to be a bit nervous before you go on stage, of course, for sure.
Yeah, man.
I still feel it, man. Years and years doing this, and I'm always nervous before I go on stage. So you want to do a good job.
Yeah, man. And I want to. Well, I'm anything talk about anxiety. I've never played this with people. This is just. I can't wait to actually be like, hey guys, this is Mother Rucker. And then see where it goes. And I'm excited to face that fear and fire and be like, oh, that was a great high. Let me do it again. And a lot of my themes in music's not trying to be this like, oh, life is great, pro mental health, but like, that's been some things in my head is like what I've gone through and what it could be journaling and mindful writing down into lyrics, and then I got to yell about it. One band I was going to bring up that really made me like, all right, Rock, you want to do this? Go ahead. I got to see Idols last year.
Cool.
Nice.
And them talking about like toxic masculinity and like all their messages and stuff, and it's this punk-fueled chaos.
Yeah.
And just being in, dude, I was like chilling. I went by myself, sold out show. I'm like in the corner somewhere, like kind of up front. And I'm like nervous, like, oh my God, people, society, whatnot. And then I'm inside a whirlpool of like this mosh pit. And hearing like these messages this dude is yelling out, like he has quite a unique voice and whatnot, but he fucking owns it. And everyone is making these crazy ass noises and stuff. And that fueled me to be like, whoa, like, I want to do that.
Yeah. There's nothing like going to a really good punk show to make you want to be in a band. It's just like...
That was it.
That energy is just wild.
Yeah, it was like that. It was Idols. It was Bad Brains.
Yeah.
Just the vulnerability. I remember being young. I'm a mutt. Like most people are, but most cats think I'm like Jamaican, but I'm Dominican, German, Japanese, whatnot. And I grew up in a lot of different places. And when I hung out with more of like the Hispanic, Black community in my where I lived and in school, I would listen to like rock and stuff. And they're like, dude, you're like in the Afro Latino, like no one listens to that, dude. Listen to some like reggaeton and that. And I'd be like squared into something. And I remember discovering the Bad Brains as a teenager. And they're like an all black punk hardcore band.
Yeah.
Like it gave me like this, wow.
It is out there.
It inspired me.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, like I could be a Dominican punk dude.
Yeah.
Why not?
And this is an important thing as well because representation in media in general is really, really important. And there's been a lot of people, talking about it over the past 10 years or so. And then there's a lot of people who think that, that it's some kind of insidious woke agenda to kind of have people of different races in places you don't usually see them. But this is why. It's because it actually makes, it gives people, it allows people to have ambition. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Look at Beyonce, man. She just got Country Album of the Year.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. You know, it really irritates me that people can't see that, you know? That
For
if there's
sure.
no role models in media and in the arts and things, then you just don't think you're allowed to do it, you know?
For sure. And, you know, being pulled in different areas of like, oh man, like, you're light skinned, you're like a white dude, like, you should follow this. Oh no, dude, you're like Hispanic or black, like, you're this. And like, I was in the middle. It's like, I'm all the above, man. Like,
Do whatever you want to be. Right?
I want to be whatever I want.
That's right.
And, you know, like, I can follow through my Dominican stereotypes, play baseball and do this and all of that. Well, I want to play bass guitar.
yeah.
Baseball, bass guitar, whatever, you know.
Close enough. Close enough. It's got a bass in it.
Close enough.
It's got a bass
But
in it.
no, man. And like, I love that the Bad Brains came back. I got an opportunity to open up for HR's reggae project, and just seeing the life he's gone through now and how important to just take care of your mind and just like,
For sure.
he's still going though.
Yeah.
And people are giving shit like, oh no, like he's tired out, he's done this. And I'm like, he's still going, he's still battling, he's still trying to live with it. And to look at his youth and what he did at that time, I gotta thank them. I'm not trying to. For me, it's difficult to kind of copy exactly what they're doing. But man, what I was mixing, I was listening to that record on repeat. Everything was clipping.
It was the first time. It was the first thing I said to you after I heard it, and I absolutely didn't mean that in a bad way. I mean in the best possible way.
I was like, shit, word.
I was like, I listened to it and I was like, holy shit, it sounds like Bab. That's the first thing I thought.
Everything is clipping. If anyone doesn't understand that when you're mixing and shit, like everything was red.
That's wild. That's so
drums is distorted, vocals, bass. You know, I mean, like I was setting like, hey, can you check out this mix? And like I'm getting messages like, Doc, don't you want to like this to go somewhere?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. This feels awesome.
Yeah.
And you know, like,
well, you know what the rules are, and you broke them with your eyes open, which is, you know, it's an artistic choice. I think it's great.
Thank you. And you know, you talked about like punk being safe or like wired. And it's cool they're doing that. And I could have made these songs feel safe and whatnot. Yeah. And these songs were, I mean, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Jesus Christ, I was going through hell.
Yeah.
During those times, like, oh, I'm gonna do this guitar track. No, I hate this. I didn't touch it for 3 months. Come back in, and to get it to this point, like I've done. Yeah. I'm proud of myself, and I enjoy it, and I want to continue doing that. And it's quite a journey to just like go forward with just sticking with it.
Yeah. Just to be like, this is the choice. This is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
it's cool. I respect it. So, are there any plans to perform live? We kind of talked about it, but not really. Is there? There's nothing on the books, is there? It's just like working up to it at the moment.
I could have gone through the route of like, I'm gonna get a band together, have this whole thing and whatnot. Like, I personally wanted to bring something to our community, the 561 community.
Yeah.
All over, just like submit art. Yeah. I have had people try to bring me down and me to stop doing it. I've attempted to write original music, and I've looked with bands copywriting it without my name on it and take it off, being like, you can't do this. People who've seen me in like a bad mental state and being like, stay down.
Yeah.
And you know what? And it's okay because they saw that this guy could go somewhere.
Yeah.
And I kind of like him down here, and I get to be up here. I'm like, no, man. Yeah. And it's like, I just want to like contribute that. There might be a minimum. I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to take that out. It's not coming out Friday, this, and that. But I'm like, I'm excited to put this out, to be like, hey, guys, I'm doing this art thing.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like, it's funny. I had to sign this form and whatnot for the episode and whatnot. I don't have a Facebook page yet. I don't have an Instagram yet. I don't have any. I am doing the worst things to market 2025 because the main thing for this was like art.
Which you will have by the time.
Oh, I definitely will. Follow me on the yada yada yadas, MySpace and all of that. But
Facebook Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace, buy record. I'll print it out. I'll CD burn it.
Facebook Marketplace was the joke that Sierra Lane made on the first ever
Episode.
561 music
Yep.
episode. Yeah, that's awesome.
But I have my good buddy, and you both know him, is Zach.
Yeah.
We've been jamming out. There's a studio that I've been working at working on other people's tunes and whatnot. And he's been here. He's been supportive too to bring up, like, being like, hey, keep doing this. Like, I haven't shared it. This was like to myself. And he walked in one day during a mix, and he's like, Rock, is that you? I'm like, yeah. He's like, keep going.
Yeah, nice.
So I trust him with my music, and so he'd probably be
Just
my
don't
bass
trust him with
man.
your sister.
Like I'm another child. But love you, Zach. But definitely would love to find whoever comes in, like drummer spots. One, I know it's difficult to hold a drummer. People who get the music you want to be a caveman and play the D beat.
Yeah, get in touch with Rocky.
And it's going to happen. I want to do this as soon as possible. And right now I'm in this demo phase, pre-production, yada, yada.
Yeah.
To keep it going. But, I want to do this live. I want to feel that fire and just lose my shit to my own music.
Oh, yeah,
I cannot fucking
No
wait.
better feeling.
And I could have waited, but, I dealt with so many self-doubt, which I think most creatives go through. And I approach this as art.
Yeah.
I'm not like, got my reels going, got this, which is awesome and successful. And I work on like people's stuff where they're doing all of that. I get the game.
Yeah.
I just want to release art.
Yeah,
and see if people dig it.
Fair enough, man.
And there's this pressure where we have to be this celebrity, personality, yada, yada, influencers. That's awesome. And it's like, I'm sure people in the 80s, 60s, 80s, whatever, people trying to do it, if they heard about like, oh, people can get viral or known through this, like there's so many music from those eras that are still underground and unknown.
Here's the thing,
And we like, so there's a blessing to like, oh, you can listen to my shit right now, anywhere. Like you don't have to like wait outside of like FYE or Best Buy to buy my shit.
Yeah.
Like, which I kind of miss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Waiting in line for stuff like that. That was awesome.
A little bit.
And, it's a thrilling thing.
Nah,
It
man,
is,
just
man.
be true to yourself, though, man. Be true to yourself. Put out your art, and the rest will just come.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
There's just this tough. I see people freak out about it. It's like, I don't want to post another thing. I don't like and I mean, which is awesome. I made a music video. I was DIYing everything. Because I got to do something. I want people to watch it and whatnot. But,
Which is a great
just,
video,
dude, you have our phones. We can start with what we got. And some people have this perfectionistic, like, God, it has to be recorded, it has to be mixed, this, has to be pro, this, blah, blah. Like, I spent some cash on my stuff, but I didn't have to, like, I just want to get it out there.
I get it, man.
And
you
learn
know
from
what,
it.
as well? It's just, it depends on the thing and the person and the time. I feel like you're right, it is art. And just like art, there's different ways you can promote it. There's different reasons why you would bring it out. There's different ways of doing it, and everything is allowed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think what was important is just like focusing on the art.
Yeah.
And I had a really awesome opportunity to do some recording with Steve Albini like years ago.
Yeah.
And rest in peace, man. And working with him, just going over his shoulder and listening to shit on tape, which you guys got to do, record shit on tape. Hearing flaws, the messed ups, but hearing how how awesome it sounds.
Yeah.
You accept flaws.
Yeah.
And there is moments where and working with Steve Albini, most people who like read about him, it's like he didn't give an opinion. He was like, what's next?
Yeah.
And then it just made you kind of like not overthink, like, oh, that messed up that solo. Like I would hear back like takes and stuff that I was working with an artist with their tunes. And I listen back, I'm just memorized of like the quality and the magic of like,
For
there's
real,
no MacBook in the room.
Yeah.
There was no Logic or like none of that. And hearing those flaws, I'm like, I'm in love with it.
Sounded
And
great. I remember you playing me stuff at the time. Sounded great. Sounded really great.
And that helped me, like, after that, just like, you know, I've been, like, we've been recording out of your bedroom, like, almost a decade ago. And there's moments where I'm like, I didn't know Logic. Yeah. And I'm just behind it with you, like, what's this 1K?
Yeah,
Can you bring it up for this or whatnot? And getting the bug of knowing how to record and interested and having that experience, I was like floored. I'm like, I want to do it again. And I got to meet a lot of local bands afterwards being like, hey, I'm like still learning this like engineering thing.
Sure.
Let's work out a deal. And that's how I met bands like The Shake with Ricky.
That
Dink,
hustle, man. That's what
Dominic, thank you.
Oh, there you go.
Dominic the Lady, Blab Scam. Like, there's so many bands I got, you know, the buck stops here. Like, so many bands that allowed me to try it out and do with others. And similar to you, you know, we're helping out making people's ideas louder. And I love doing that. And to give myself
that's actually
this treatment.
Very eloquent, making people's ideas louder.
That's what my goal is. Like, after, like, I mean, there's like the producer mindset. We can make it deep and go crazy, but it's like, let's just make the idea louder.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. I love that. And you know what? It's such a beautiful statement that I think we should part on it. We're all here on this table to make your ideas louder. Remember that. And get in touch if you're a musician and you want to be on the show. And if you want to check out Rocky Rucker's music, all of the links will, upon appearing, be in the video and show notes. So
they will appear now. No,
so despite what we may or may not have said in the video, it will be in the show notes in perpetuity. All of the stuff to check out Rocky's music going to be in the show notes. And we will see you next week. And we have a festival, and it is on May the 3rd, and it is at the Meyer Amphitheater. And
561 Music Festival.
That's right.
Presented by Steiner Green and Finer.
Yep. And there's 2 stages, 20 bands. It's free. And the bands are Mason Pace, Tiger Sunset, Closer to the Ocean, Ras, Not Spices, Fuakatar, Medicine Room, Jacob Tacos and the Connection, Beeline, Reverse Oreo, Modern Odyssey, Stony Fools, Strider, Shakers, Ryan Hopkins, Slow Funk Pump, Off Orbit, Billy Doom is Dead, Little Things, and Blab Scam. So you should come because they're all amazing bands.
That was only 19, man. I'm just kidding.
You got me. You got anything else you want to add to that?
No, man. May 3rd, Meyer Amphitheater, 561 Music Festival, brought to you by Steiner Green and Finer.
That's right.
20 bands, 2 stages, beer trucks, art vendors, sponsors, and food trucks.
It's going to be so awesome.
It's going to be amazing.
Exciting.
It's going to be amazing.
Thanks for coming on, Rocky.
Dude, thanks for having me here and letting me ramble about
man.
Mother Rucker stuff and just
pleasure.
what you do with the community and how it's, where it's growing now. That's phenomenal. The Meyer Amphitheater, you guys stole Sunfed's spot. That's rock and roll. You guys are legends.
Don't tell anybody.
So pat yourself on the back. Bye, everyone.